Alright, hello everybody, it's beau-hindman back with a quick video. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I absolutely adore, as you can always tell from my, I always get the wrong side, from my shelf behind me, and my other videos. I love toys. I grew up on the 80s Chinese and Japanese toys, and so that has grown into my love for Gundam, or what they call Gunpla, which is Gundam plastics, I guess, plastic modeling for Gundam. And today I wanted to do a quick video about weathering techniques, not necessarily showing you how I do them because I'm still learning, but about which techniques you might want to use when building your Gunpla. Okay, so just before I get started, in case you're brand new or you haven't seen, this is a typical Gunpla kit. This is the Lightning. This kit is, and all of the Gunpla, I believe, or a lot of the Gunpla, I should say, are based on the Gundam animated series, which came out years and years ago. I think 25 years, I don't know, 79, 80, something like that. And as the kits became better and better, the animation also kept up, and then the kits could become more elaborate to match the animation. So a typical kit like you get like this, it's based on the Build Fighters Try series, which you can watch for free on YouTube, on Gundam.info's website. This looks just like the cartoon, so it's kind of fun to build the model that you like in the cartoon. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a fan of anime for various reasons I might cover in a video in the future. I have given it a try here and there, but it always does something to kind of disappoint me, unfortunately. I think that anime has got to catch up to the rest of the world in inclusiveness and stuff like that. So anyway, I'll talk about that some other time. But I have been enjoying the Build Fighters Try series, which is kind of, there was the Build Fighters Season 1 and this is Season 2. And then I recently won, and I've done, you might have watched this video I made before, I recently won most of the kits from the Season 2. So I've got 20 of these kits. Now I'm down to 17 to build. So as I'm doing them, I'm having to decide what kind of weathering techniques I want to use. Now, there are basically 4 levels or types of building that most Gunpla builders will come across. Number 1 will be basic, straight out of the box. You take it apart, you cut it out of the runners, you build it according to the instructions. You might add on some stickers, but it's what you call a straight build. It's very simple. It's really... The reason I really like Gunpla without necessarily liking anime is because the engineering behind these little plastic kits is amazing, and it just keeps getting better and better. In 50 years, they'll be little walking things, I guarantee it. It's really amazing to watch what they've done with plastics and how much articulation they get out of basic kits and stuff, and it's really a lot of fun. So a straight build is what a lot of builders will come across. They'll buy the kit, they'll put it together in an hour or 2 or 3, depending on the kit, and they'll be like, that's really neat, I can pose it on my shelf. And one of the reasons I like it is because they're so inexpensive. This one's probably around 20 bucks, I think, but they go down to $10, up to $500, depending. But the basic level ones, which are fantastic little kits, go for $10 to $20. A kid can buy that, whereas a G.I. Joe or Transformer or Lego kit would cost way more than that in some cases. And they can build it. They spend some hours building it using their hands. Then they can pose it on their shelf, or they can play it. If they break it, they can repair it. They can glue it, or they can use it as parts for another one. So a fantastic community, or a fantastic hobby, I should say, for younger kids. So that would be a straight build, just a build out of the kit, a couple stickers, whatever. Second level is where you're starting to get into some detailing. You're going to start doing the panel lines meaning the gaps between the armor. You're going to darken those. You're going to add some the stickers of the building as well. Maybe start sanding off of the little nub marks and everything. You start to really get into building, but you're still just basically building the kit as it should be according to the box. Maybe doing a little painting, but probably not. The third step is when you're going to start really getting into where you're weathering it, you're painting it custom, you're taking each part and you're sanding it down, and you're really starting to get into it. This is where I think a lot of people start to really find the joy of Gunpla, is when you're really just kind of enjoying just tweaking on every little part and having some fun on it, but not becoming so obsessed with it that it's like a job, because they can turn into that. And then the last part, or last step, I would say, are the custom builders, the competitors, the ones who add the LEDs, dioramas, stuff like that. It's one of the higher levels. Now, these are just rough levels I'm making up, but to kind of give you an idea of how involved you can be. I'm probably at level 3 where I'm starting to weather and create Gunpla that look like it's been through some damage or some fights or whatever. So there's a lot of different kinds of weathering you want to use, but this video is more about which one you prefer. What I tend to do, I should say this, what most Gunpla builders I see want to do are to build the equivalent of a really nice brand new sports car. It looks amazing, it looks fast, it looks tough, whatever, it looks expensive. Beautiful paint job. Every little detail is just crystal clear. Bing! That kind of stuff. Most builders I meet really would rather create that than anything. Something that looks like a display. Absolutely fine. I admire those builders. In fact, I'll probably build a few myself that are just perfect looking, or at least attempt to. Some builders want to go ahead and weather them and build them to look like there's battle damage. They've been hurt. They get into dioramas where there's half of a Gunpla there. Blown apart, cut apart, you know, that kind of thing where there's a lot of battle damage. What I'm trying to go for, what I'm interested in going for, is an old used piece of hardware, construction equipment, old faithful. It doesn't see a lot of combat. Maybe it's the one that's held back to defend the base while everybody else is fighting, getting into glory. I'm really interested in those kind of working Gunpla, because we know they're going to use, if you had these giant robots, you'd be using these robots for all sorts of work, construction, picking up ammunition, all sorts of stuff. And those Gunpla really interest me, because I find that a lot of people like to weather Gunpla that seem to be used more instead of in combat more. They like to weather them as though all of the armor chipped and rusted and the metal is falling apart, like you would see an old bridge or an old Volkswagen Beetle in some junkyard. My problem with that is that while it is beautiful and I think that it actually reflects reality, it looks realistic. My problem with that is I would think since this is the future and these are space age alloys and stuff they're using on these Gunpla, that the metal would either be already colored or it would be painted on top, and the paint wouldn't necessarily chip. It would be bound to the metal, like they already have paints that do that. It would be more like, part of the metal. So I don't know that we'd necessarily see rusted ship looking type of Gunpla instead of what I am trying to go for, which is greasy, dirty, dented maybe, a couple bullet holes, but not necessarily rusted or scratched up. I like scratches and I like the rust and all that, but what I'm really interested in is making a Gunpla that looks like it is every day out there in the field picking up rocks or moving bars of steel or something like that. That's really interesting to me. So I've been trying to dirty up my Gunpla using the Gundam markers, and so it's kind of a laborious process. I will cover the entire piece and then wipe it off slowly, like you would with maybe any type of reverse wash type or dry brush type thing. And then it leaves big chunky parts. I'll even let it stick in the joints and then open it back up and forth, and it'll create like an impression as though the part was touching and got grease on the other part. I really enjoy that type of thing. But then I recently discovered washes, and so I might move on to washes that still create that, but leave a little bit of a cleaner armor. So it looks like maybe a Gundam that was older and used, but not necessarily beat up. It's just kind of still waiting in the wings. So I'm looking into that. If you have any tips or tricks, please leave them in the comments section. I know a lot of people have a lot of different ways of weathering these things, and a lot of people love to customize these things, which is in the ultimate step 4, really, when you get into it. But as I decorate more and more, and as I play with these guys more and more, and as I really enjoy building these little kits, I find myself absolutely fascinated, wanting to create kind of like, instead of a rusted old hot rod, more like a beloved old faithful tool, which they would be using them as tools in the future if they had these giant robots. As a matter of fact, go look at the local cranes in your neighborhood if you see a construction site or something like that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There might be rust and stuff like that, but really there's more mud, grease, grime, buildups, footprints from stepping on the step, the entrances and everything like that. So really interesting way to think about it. I'm consumed by it now. So let me know what you think. I'll see you guys next time, and girls, I'm sorry, on the next video. Take it easy. Bye-bye.